If you're thinking about starting your own business, you're likely excited and more than a little nervous. The thought of being your own boss can be empowering, but it's also intimidating, and you probably have a lot of questions. Whether you're just in the planning stages, wondering how to structure your business, or unsure about how to secure the funding to get your business off the ground, finding answers to your questions will help you get your business up and running. 1. Planning your business. 1. What are the most profitable small businesses? Generally, you'll find the most potential for profit if you start a business focused around something that you know really well and are passionate about. However, some small businesses tend to perform better than others. If you're just starting out, it's good to focus on an area where you can turn a profit quickly. Then, you'll have room to expand later. Service-based businesses that don't require much of an initial outlay tend to perform well and are also relatively easy to scale up. For example, if you have expertise in a particular sector, you might start a consulting business in that sector. You can work out of your home at the beginning, which saves you a lot of overhead. If you're creative and tech-savvy, you might consider a web design business. Most businesses, and many individuals, want their own website but don't have the time or interest to learn how to create one themselves. Tax preparation and bookkeeping services likewise can be started with little overhead, and you can rely on word of mouth for a lot of your marketing. However, this type of business is generally best suited to someone with an accounting or law degree who is certified as an accountant. 2. Do I really need a formal business plan? In most cases, yes, although it may not need to be as detailed as you think or be in any particular format. If you're planning on getting any outside investment for your business, however, you'll definitely need a business plan. Lenders also typically require a business plan as part of your application package. Market research is a fundamental part of any business plan because it helps you understand the demand for your business and project how likely your business is to become profitable. Look at the demand for the product or service you plan to offer and how that demand is currently being met. If you're thinking about applying for a loan, most lenders require a business plan with projections for the next 5 years of operation, including when you anticipate turning a profit. Small business lenders typically give you guidance on the types of information they want to see in a business plan. Even for a relatively small, simple business, a business plan can help keep you focused and organized. For example, if you want to open a consultancy business out of your home, your business plan will help you anticipate marketing needs and analyze the demand for your services. 3. What kind of businesses can I run from home? Many of the most profitable startup businesses are also businesses you can run from home, at least initially. If your primary contact with your customers or clients will be over the internet, you have a business that can easily be run from home. Businesses that are focused primarily on you providing a service to others typically work best for an at-home business. If you can travel to your clients or communicate with them primarily over the phone and the internet, there's really no need for you to have dedicated office space outside of the home. There are a few businesses that would be difficult to run from home. For example, if you want to start a business having anything to do with food, you'd have a hard time running it from home because you would likely run afoul of local health and sanitation requirements. 4. How do I come up with a name for my business? Finding the best business name can be the most exciting part of starting your business, but it can also be the most nerve-wracking. Ultimately, you want something that's short, unique, memorable, and easy to pronounce. However, actually coming up with something that meets all of those criteria is often easier said than done. One helpful exercise is to set a timer for 2 minutes and write down all the brands you can think of off the top of your head. Then, look at your list and analyze those names. Try to come up with reasons they're so catchy and memorable. The characteristics you come up with can help you find the business name of your own. Using your name as part of your business name is common with small businesses, particularly if you plan on keeping your business family-owned. If you're having a hard time, have a brainstorming session with family and friends. You can come up with something great when you have several people bouncing ideas off of each other. 5. Do I need to have any specialized business experience? You certainly don't need an MBA to start your own business. Many successful small business owners never attended a single business school class. However, some understanding of the rules and regulations for your industry and location will keep you from making potentially costly mistakes. For example, if you're planning on opening up a restaurant, get a copy of the local sanitation regulations and make sure you understand them. Search online for a local small business association. These groups have educational resources that will help you understand the basics of business finance and operations. You can also hire experts, including a lawyer and an accountant, to help you get started. Many of these professionals offer free or discounted services for people starting new businesses. 6. How do I know if I'm capable of running my own business? This is a question only you can answer, although it depends to some extent on the type of business you want to start. However, even the simplest at-home businesses require you to be someone who is self-disciplined and able to efficiently manage your own time and resources. If you plan on having employees, you should have at least some management experience and be comfortable leading people and telling them what to do. Writing up a business plan can help you figure out if you truly have what it takes to run your own business. Read through your plan and ask yourself questions about how you would handle different contingencies that might come up. 2. Structuring your business. 1. Do I need to register my business? Not all places require businesses to register with the government, but even if you're not required to register, it's still a good idea to do so. Additionally, registering your name protects it so no one else can use the same name as you for their business. Registering your business is typically required if you want to open a business bank account or apply for loans. Many cities and towns require businesses to have a license. Your local small business association or chamber of commerce will have more information about these requirements. 2. How do I decide which business structure is right for my business? Generally, the best business structure for you depends on how big you want your business to be and how many people are involved in its formation. You will also want to consider whether you want to protect yourself from being personally liable for any business debts or obligations. There are 4 basic types of business structures. A sole proprietorship is the most basic business structure. You own and run the business, but the business is not separate from you personally, meaning you can be held liable for any business debts and obligations. You file taxes for the business on your own personal taxes. A partnership is like a sole proprietorship, except at least one other person owns the business along with you. A corporation creates a separate entity, meaning you aren't personally liable for business debts and obligations. However, incorporation also entails following registration and reporting requirements. A limited liability company is a hybrid of the corporate structure and the sole proprietorship. Generally, this type of business enjoys the tax treatment of a sole proprietorship and the personal liability protection of a corporation. Tip: the business structure you choose is as much about your own personal preference as it is anything else. It might make sense to start out as a sole proprietorship to keep it simple, then look at incorporation after a few years if your business grows significantly. 3. Do I have to incorporate my business? No. In fact, the incorporation only makes some businesses more difficult to start up and run. If you're planning on running your business by yourself and not hiring a lot of employees, using a corporate structure might be overkill for you. It can help to look at trends in your industry. If the vast majority of startup businesses in your sector are incorporated, it might make sense for you to incorporate them. However, if most of them are sole proprietorships, that structure should be fine for you as well. 4. Where should I incorporate my business? For large corporations, this is a significant question because of the corporate regulations and tax codes of different locations. However, if you're just starting out, it's generally best to incorporate your business where you live. For example, if you're starting a business in the US, you might want to form your corporation in a state that doesn't levy corporate taxes. However, if your principal place of business is in the state where you live, and your state does levy corporate taxes, you may end up paying them anyway. You also want to consider travel requirements. If you incorporate in one state or region, that generally means that you can be sued there. If it would be inconvenient for you to travel to that area to defend against a lawsuit, you might want to stick closer to home. 5. How do I get a separate tax ID number for my business? Your country's tax department issues tax IDs. Typically, you can get a separate tax ID number for any business, even if you've decided not to incorporate it. If you've decided to run your business as a sole proprietor, a separate tax ID number protects your privacy. Otherwise, you would likely have to give your clients your personal tax ID number, which could put you at higher risk for identity theft. 6. How can I protect myself from liability as a sole proprietor? If you're a sole proprietor, you're personally liable for the debts and obligations of your business. For some types of businesses, this means putting your personal assets on the line. However, there are some things you can do to protect yourself without forming a separate business entity. For consultants, writers, and other service-based businesses, errors and omissions insurance can cover you and protect your personal assets in the event of a business-related lawsuit. Drafting contracts that protect your liability is another option for client-based businesses. In your contract, you can specifically limit liability by describing what you won't take responsibility for. Have an attorney draft some basic contracts for you that you can adapt for different clients and different situations. There are also things you can do to avoid getting into trouble in the first place. For example, keeping digital files backed up and secure will help protect you against a data breach that might compromise the information of your clients or customers. 3. Funding your business. 1. Can I start a business with no money? While it is technically possible to start a business even while you have little to no money in the bank, this approach requires careful planning to use the resources you do have effectively. Look at the resources you do have available to you and think about what you can do before you start needing funds. Service-based businesses are typically the best to start if you have limited funds available. If you can start your business from home, you would typically have limited startup costs. For some businesses, you can start small and scale up as your business grows. For example, if you want to start a delivery service, you could start by delivering with your own car until you make enough money to buy or lease a van. Tip: don't forget to consider the cost of equipment. Even if you already have things you can use, transitioning equipment from personal to business use can result in a lot more wear and tear. You may find that you need to repair or replace things sooner than you would otherwise. 2. How much does it cost to start your own business? The initial money you'll need to start your business depends on the type of business you want to start and what you'll need to buy to get your business up and running. For simple, home-based businesses, you may not technically need any money to start. However, if you want to start a retail store or restaurant, you'll have to put out a good deal of money up front. For example, if you want to start a consulting business from home, you can probably get your business up and running for less than the US $500. This would include the cost of any registration or licenses, setting up a website, and basic advertising for your services. If you wanted to incorporate, your costs would be at least double that. On the other hand, if you wanted to start a restaurant, you'd likely be looking at startup expenses of US $30,000 or more. Opening a franchise is typically less expensive than opening a restaurant from scratch and also comes with plenty of training. 3. How can I raise money for my business? If you want to start a business and you're coming up short on funds, the best thing to do is create a budget and save the startup funds you'll need. If that isn't feasible, consider reaching out to family and friends for help. You might also try crowdfunding online to raise money. Keep in mind that people you ask for money for your business are going to want to know why they should help. Be ready to explain to them how unique and necessary your business is and why it's important for them to contribute. If you reach out to people directly for funding, they may also be interested in becoming a partner so they have a stake in the continued success of the business. No matter how much you need money, this isn't a decision to take lightly. Make sure you're comfortable with them being a part of your enterprise before taking any money from them. 4. What about taking out a loan? There are loans available for small businesses. However, most of these loans are only available for businesses that are already in existence, not businesses that are just starting out. Banks and credit unions sometimes offer startup loans to small businesses. Start with your own bank or credit union, especially if you've had an account there for several years, you might have better luck. Since your business hasn't started yet, any lender will evaluate your personal credit score and credit history when considering your application. They will also look at your background and experience to determine if you have the qualifications to operate a successful business. 5. Can I get venture capital funding? You probably hear about tech startups that get millions in venture capital for an app or other tech idea. However, in the world of small businesses generally, attracting the attention of venture capitalists is very rare. While it can be tempting to dream that an angel investor will swoop in and take care of all of your financial woes, it's far more realistic to seek funding from more terrestrial sources, such as family and friends. If you're serious about looking for venture capital funding, research venture capital firms and individual investors thoroughly. Send queries to investors who have a track record of funding businesses similar to yours. To catch the eyes of a venture capitalist, your business needs to be meticulously planned. These are professional investors who need to know they can trust your projections of future income and growth. 6. Should I require investors to sign a non-disclosure agreement (NDA)? If you have an idea for a product, app, or other invention, you may be worried about investors stealing your idea. An NDA can protect your idea, but it will also make it difficult for you to talk to investors and get the word out about your product. Instead of requiring NDAs, do the background research necessary and vet your potential investors before you go into too much detail about your idea. Only provide details to people you trust. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel Point Simplify.